a live phone-in program with Cardio Ogudamisi every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Ben Television. Never a dull moment this summer on Ben Television, Bridging the Gap channel.
Ben Television, the Bridging the Gap channel.
Good evening, and you're welcome to Ben Television, live from the United Kingdom. We're in, not London, actually. Tonight, we're going to focus on Abia State. Abia State is a state in southeast Nigeria. And we just want to thank you for staying with Ben Television. And it is your program, Politics with KO. We recently visited Nigeria, and we had an interview with a lot of public office holders. And the first in the series today will be an interview with Abia State Governor Theodore Orji. We're going to have live guests in the studio, but we will also play the interview in two segments. Abia State, a state in southeast Nigeria, had governors like Frank Njobena, who was a military administrator, and he started in 1991, I think, and then Ogbonaya Onu took over in 1992. Then we had Chinyere Ikenwosu. Then Temiejo took over in 1994. Moses Fasonya was a military administrator in 1996. Then we had Anthony Obi, who took over in 1998. Orji Uzo Kalu, you have to take note of that name. Orji Uzo Kalu was the civilian governor on May 29, 1999 to May 29, 2007. Then Orji Theodore, no relative of Uzo Kalu, took over May 29, 2007. Now, the controversy in Abia State has always been between Orji, number one, and Orji, number two. We're going to listen to Orji 2, who is the current executive governor of Abia State today, and we're going to analyze the answers he gave to an exclusive interview we had with him in Umuahia. But first, let us take you to Ngozi Gale, who is going to tell us what's happening around Nigeria. Ngozi.
Yes, thank you, Kay. Good evening. I want to start off with the fact that this President Goodluck Jonathan has actually confirmed that the PDP chairman, Mr. Bamangotuka, has resigned as the chairman for PDP. Like I said, it was confirmed today, and there's been a lot of talk going on about this, but I wanted to move on to the gay legislation that was passed recently, signed by President Goodluck Jonathan, regarding anti-gay rights and anti-gay marriages. And the thing is, Twitter has been abuzz with both of these, but especially about the topic of gay bill that has been passed, like I said, because everybody, in fact, most people here are against it, whereas it seems like from what we're getting from the fans of the show is that people internationally are supporting him. And of course, people have gone as far as to say that they think this was a plot or a ploy by Goodluck Jonathan to deflect unwanted attention on him, and also, on the other hand, to gather support of voters regarding the election that's coming up next year. So, you know, we're not sure what is going on, but one thing I do know for a fact is that this is one of the big topics that's going on around Twitter. So I'd like you to join us on Twitter and let us know what your thoughts are on both topics. One of them is the fact that Bamangotuka has resigned, and the other one on the anti-gay bill legislation that's been passed recently. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, join us on Twitter. Kayade's handle is at Ogundamisi, and mine is at Ngozi. Let us know what you think. On a lighter note, Chiwetel Ejiofor, he's my favorite actor, has been nominated for Oscars from his role in the film 12 Years a Slave. If you haven't seen that film, I suggest you do. It is brilliant. And the film, of course, is also in running for Oscars, and we wish both of them the best of luck. Moving on, football fans, I think, are very, very delighted about the fact, especially those who are Cristiano Ronaldo's fans, because he's of course beat Barcelona's Lionel Messi to win the 2013 FIFA Ballon d'Or. Of course, the 28-year-old, he's a Portugal captain and Real Madrid forward, was named the World Player of the Year. Good luck to him. I'm going to leave it there because I think there's a lot going on tonight on tonight's show. But I will see you back here next week. Like I say, join us on Twitter to discuss any issue we brought up tonight. Like I said, Kayade's handle at Ogundamasi, and mine is at Gail Ngozi. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Ngozi. Viewers, we really want you to stay with us tonight. If you're from Abia State and if you're from Southeast Nigeria and you're a Nigerian and a friend of Abia, you need to actually be on today's show. You need to join us. You need to call in. We really need to discuss what's happening in Abia State. Because I'm going to have Kingsley Megwala, who is a special advisor former special advisor to the governor, and then Duchess Nnenna Ubani, and then we'll also have one other guest. We're going to look both sides of the coin on what is going on in Abia State. And then that exclusive interview we had with Governor Orji in Abia. We'll just
A live phone-in program with Theodore every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Ben Television. Never a dull moment this summer on Ben Television, Bridging the Gap channel.
Ben Television, the Bridging the Gap channel.
A live phone-in program with Theodore every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on television. Never a dull moment this summer on Ben Television, Bridging the Gap channel.
Ben Television, the Bridging the Gap channel.
A live phone-in program with Theodore every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Ben Television. Never a dull moment this summer on Ben Television, Bridging the Gap channel.
Ben Television, the Bridging the Gap channel.
And this is Politics with KO, and tonight's focus is on Abia State. Before we go on to the executive governor of the state, I need to introduce my guests. I've got Kingsley Megwala, former special advisor to the executive governor of Abia State. You're welcome to Politics with KO.
Thank you very much, Coyote.
And then I've got Nnenna Ubani, Duchess Ubani. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're both from Abia State, if I'm correct.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you watch Theodore Orji. Let me first say that Umuahia is a beautiful place to be. I'm talking about the people. I spent like 2.5 days there, and it felt like home to me.
Wow.
So all the impression I have about Igbo people not liking Yoruba, that's not true.
No, not true. Never happened.
Where did you ever get that from?
Yeah, but tonight it's just about your state, actually, and we're going to have Governor Orji. I'll have you listen to watch the interview. I met with him in Abia, in Umuahia, and we'll just go straight and give you that the first part of the interview. And we encourage viewers to call in, especially people from Abia State. We want you to tell us if the things the governor, if the things he's telling the world, if they are actually true or they are not. We just want you to phone in. We're going to have the phone numbers on the screen. Let me introduce the governor of Abia State. The interview was held in Umuahia some few weeks back. Thank you.
Experience.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is you're one of the very first politicians that rebelled against the Godfather. Did that in any way inhibit your ability to deliver the promises at a certain period?
Of course, of course. You see, there's some people, when you ask them, they say God is their Godfather. When you have God as your Godfather, that is good. But when you don't have a godfather who behaves like a godfather, if you believe in that, then you're in trouble. My own idea of godfatherism, which is everywhere, it is in academics, it is everywhere, is that you now guide somebody, tutor the person to a certain stage, get committed with the person and make sure that that person does things that are very good. Yeah. You don't dominate the person, you don't intimidate him, you don't expect him to take dictates from you, whether it is good or bad. That is a bad aspect of godfatherism.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard this rumor. People still feel yourself, your wife, and your son are actually in control of the state. How would you react to that?
Well, you see, you must have detractors in government. And people who are saying this are the real detractors of this government. There's no basis for comparison at all between my family and the family of my predecessor. No basis for comparison. We have different ideas, different ideologies, different trainings, different backgrounds, different antecedents. You see, mine is different from his own. He has done his bit, and we expect that once you are in governance, you have done your bit, and somebody comes up, allow that person to use his God-given talents to try his best and make his impact.
So you completely deny that your son and your wife are in control of this government?
Of course. You are here in Abia, go and ask questions. Rather, my son and my wife are doing everything possible to move Abia to the next level.
One of the impressions I get from most of the projects is as if Abia was left in darkness for 8 years and you are meant to start from the scratch. If you compare your state to other states, would you say that those 8 years seems to be the 8 years wasted and you're just trying to catch up with neighboring states?
You have said it all. You have said it all because you've been here before. And now, fortunately, that's why I say I thank you for coming. Fortunately, you have come to Abia. It's not hearsay. You didn't send your staff. You didn't send any person. You didn't send any emissary. You are here yourself, and you are now seeing, you are in a position to compare and contrast what you saw then and what you saw now. And you will see that the difference is very, very clear.
One of your projects that I saw was giving the youth empowerment program,
right,
giving taxes to unemployed youths. And I don't know the numbers, but when I asked, he said they were given free of charge.
Right.
My question is, why should a government give freebies? I mean, where will the money come from? Give taxes to young unemployed people, and they're not expected to pay anything back into government. Some will just say that's a waste of resources.
It's not a waste of resources. It's government money going back to the people. Someone could have used that money to do something else.
What was the idea behind that?
My idea behind that was to get our youth empowered, to find the means, easy means of livelihood, genuine means of livelihood.
What is the situation in terms of kidnapping and insecurity in Abia State today?
Before now, you couldn't have come here. You wouldn't come here. You'd be afraid to come here. Yeah. But I'm sure you have come, you have stayed for 1 or 2 days. No person has molested you. So there was a time Abia was bad in terms of kidnapping. And that scared away people like you, scared away investors. But we faced the challenge. That is why, that is the essence of governance. Yeah. Today, Abia is very safe. You don't hear of kidnapping again. Neither do you hear of armed robbery. People are safe. Investors are coming. People like you are now coming to ask questions and to see developments that are on ground.
There's one challenge, though. The state of Abia, the market in Abia, it's a major challenge to every government before you. And there's a serious complaint by people that is one area you have not done so well in terms of the market, area market, and the waterlogged area, overpopulation and congestion. Do you think there is hope before you complete your time in office?
I would like you to visit that place also before you make your real assessment. Yeah. I know the situation of area market before I took over. The roads were impassable. The whole place was flooded. Yeah. Environmental sanitation was nothing to write home about. Yeah. But if you go to our area today, you see that we have built the roads. The traders are happy. We went into partnership with the traders. We bought them, gave them money. Yeah. This is not a question of government. We gave them, brought the traders, organized them, gave them money, brought contractors, and tell, look, supervise the contractors to do the job for you. They did their roads. We now also brought our sanitation people, ASEPA, equipped them, give them money, give them equipment. We result that if you go to Abia today, all those garbages that used to litter the streets here and there, you can't see them.
Now, the Southeast governors, I mean in Southwest, you have regional cooperation.
Yes.
With the importance of Abia as a major trading post in the African continent.
Right.
Would you look into joining hands with your other Southeast governors to see that as a major point, focus on where there could be cooperation to uplift the standard of that place? Just like Onitsha.
We are doing that, but we've just started. If there was a foundation laid before now, if we made a foundation on this issue you are talking about, we could have gone fast. We could have gone further than where we are. But we are just starting. The crop of Southeast governors that you have now are focused. We discussed also about products like palm products, things we produce. We discussed also about infrastructure, because these things have to be on ground. So there's something like that that is happening now. We are not resting. We are not sleeping.
You did sack some non-Abians from the civil service.
Yes.
I know, of course, there are also governors in the Southeast who did the same.
Sure.
What's the situation now?
The situation is that they are back. They're coming back. I've told them to come back. But you see, that what brought back about that was circumstance. It was, what cost it actually was the minimum wage bill that came up that time and made it compulsory that workers should be paid 18,000 minimum wage. I mean, you see, our problem is people are not realistic. When I came home and looked at the whole situation, I saw that this state, with our economy, with our income, both from FAC and IGR, we cannot pay that minimum wage. And we started looking for solutions, how to overcome it. And we discovered that this, what we did now, like, you know, we didn't sack them. We posted them. We said, go back to your state. Was done some years back by our neighboring states, our sister states. They sent back our people. We took them, redeployed them in our service. Most of them are still there. Some have retired. We said, okay, since it was done and it worked out for this, our brothers and sisters, we were the only state that didn't do that. Let us try it now, because if I go by that minimum, I will be having industrial unrest every day. And I looked at the statistics in the service and discovered that 3/4 of the people in the service
were non-Abians.
And, you know, FAC allocation is done on state basis. I said, okay, what will happen is I'm not sacking any person. Let me now transfer them to their states for just like they did to us.
Did you contact the governors?
Of course I did. I wrote them letters. I didn't get any reply from any of them. I told them my predicament. And why I said that was for them to give me ideas on how to solve the situation. So when I did this, the whole world ran amok. They started criticizing. Even those whom I told, who didn't do anything, started criticizing me.
But the situation is back to...
Yes. So now, what we did gain from that? One, I never had any industrial unrest in this state. Even when all the states in the Southeast went on strike because of this minimum wage, I didn't notice it here, because I did it in consonance. It wasn't a personal opinion or personal action. I consulted, the civil service consulted the labor leaders. They said, do this thing because it was done before. Another advantage of it is that we are paying, Abia State is paying the highest minimum wage in Nigeria.
Right now?
20,100. Check it out.
Now, let me ask you.
And we have paid arrears.
Are you owing external debt? Are you taking up, how much is Abia owing?
No, we're not owing.
Yeah, that was the first bit of the interview. And Kingsley, you've been in government. When I visited Abia, I must tell you the truth, I was not impressed in any way with the state of Abia.
How come?
I mean, compared to other places, it just seems like construction is just starting. It's like, I mean, I didn't feel the fact that this is a state that has arrived. Why is that? What happened?
Kayode, you have to know a little bit of the history of Abia State. And you just listen to the governor saying it frankly and very honestly. If you know the state of our state before this governor arrived, you will cry for us. We've had elected officials. We have elected officials, former governors before him. Everything we are doing now, Kayode, is beginning to lay structural foundation for the takeoff of a modern Abia State. Everything this governor is doing now, he inherited nothing. And those of us who will come to programs like this to say this, they say, oh, well, you are working for the governor. But it's the truth. The truth is that Governor T.A. Orji inherited nothing from previous administrations. Kayode, can you believe for the first time, after 22 years, we are now building a government house? We've been, shacking up in a rented apartment for a government house. This governor is now, for the first time, building a government house.
If that is the case, how come is one of the most unpopular? I know for a fact that this governor happens to be one of the most, when you read about him online, when you have comments, I'm not talking about non-Igbos now, comments from Igbo people, it's like Orji, it's like the two Orjis are more seen like one.
Well, the two, there's no comparison here. You are talking apples and oranges. Those of us from Abia State, Kayode, will tell you that Governor T.A. Orji, perhaps in the history of our state, is the most effective governor we've ever had since the creation of Abia State. And why am I saying so? This is a man who has come on board and for the first time in the history of our state, laying the proper foundation for the takeoff of a modern Abia State. What did the former governors before him do? So when you say that people are not giving him the kudos he deserves, it angers some of us. Governor T.A. Orji means well for Abia State, and that is why he has extricated us from the jaws of the lion. And we are now in the best shape that we've ever been since the creation of our state.
I would want Abia State indigents in the UK, Abia State citizens to call in, because I really need to get a proper perspective from Abia people. But I've got someone from Abia State. I've got Nena here. Nena, when you see yourself as someone from Abia, are you proud of the state of Abia as it is today?
Well, if you say, am I a proud Abian, I'll say yes, of course I'm a proud Abian. But I understand what you mean about the state of the country, about the state of Abia at the moment. Because having lived in UK for like the past 17 years, and going back recently, I actually almost cried because I didn't actually know what was been going on, because I know how beautiful my state was at the time when I left, but I didn't really know that things had already gone really bad. So it led me to actually start asking questions like, what is happening here? Why is this state, in such a state of, disrepair? And, I was really touched, because then, before I left, I remember we had, the light, electricity, but I'm like, what is happening here? The roads, what is happening? So
because then and this is quite worrying, because when I was in Abia State, I just saw they're just starting to build. Some of the schools are just being rebuilt. They just saw some of the secretariats are just being rebuilt. I was shown the old one and the new one. You just see that fresh construction is going on, and you ask yourself, even this governor was part of the former government, and I will let Kingsley. Is he not part of the problem too? Was he not in the former government?
Well, there is a distinction being the commander-in-chief and just being a subordinate. This governor was a chief of staff who was taking directives from a man who was handling affairs. He wasn't the one directing traffic. But Kakade, the one thing I do want you to know is this. Governor T.A. Orji came into Abia State and he has transformed Abia State. And why would I say that? I am now beginning to list to you. If I begin to list to you the litany of things that we are now having after 22 years, when we have had successful governors who came in and absolutely did not. Our state was badly mismanaged. And the governor was talking about godfatherism. I will add godmotherism in the process. We had a situation where things were just not orderly. Governor T.A. Orji came in, and for the first time, laying structural foundations for the takeoff of our state. We are now having, for the first time, an international conference center, just recently built, that will take 5,000 people in a conference setting. We are now having a government house after 22 years. We are now just rebuilding all of the schools in Abia State. We are now just rebuilding all of the roads in Abia State. Those things that are necessary, including the courthouses that he's doing in Aba and Umuahia, those things that are necessary for the takeoff of a modern state is now being laid. Now, and you will ask, what happened to the governors before him? That should be the question.
The question I'm going to ask, and Nena, sorry if you feel left out here, because it's important I let Kingsley. Yeah, Kingsley, what I'm going to ask is, from your own comment, it appears there's been a lot of mismanagement in the past. And the immediate past governor, if you ask me, and I've said this off air, I think the guy should be paraded on the street, let people judge. Why didn't the second Orji prosecute the former Orji? Why is he not held to account for the mismanagement?
Governor T.A. Orji is a complete gentleman. If you come closer to the man, you will know the character and quality of the man. He just said, okay, enough of the rubbish. Let's move our state forward. And that is what he has done. The first 4 years was terrible. The first 4 years of his administration was terrible. Okay. And in between that, he said, now is the time. And Abians rallied behind this man, and we are in a better shape now than we have ever been since the creation of our state.
I'm going to let our viewers, I've got Chooks on the line. Good evening, Chooks.
Yeah, good evening, Kayode.
Yeah, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from London.
Okay, good. Are you from Abia?
I'm from Imo State, a neighboring state to Abia State.
Good. You should be able to give us your perspective on this.
I know Abia State very, very well, because Abia State was formerly Imo State.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kingsley, welcome to UK.
Thank you, my brother. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Here, everything is equal. But I am so ashamed, I am from Imo State, that you are here to defend T.A. Orji. Because in the first place, T.A. Orji never won election because he was in jail or in prison. Onyemu Gochukwu won election, but due to all this, Okaro was fighting for his political party to stand. He had to do everything humanly possible to give T.A. Orji
Chooks, are we talking about election, or are we talking about leadership in Abia State? I want to get that correct from you. Are we talking about election on this program, or are we talking about a man who is leading Abia State? Let me have that feel.
Let me tell you, T.A. Orji is doing bad. He is in fact, if I'm to score him, he should score 1/100.
Why would you say? Give me one reason, Chooks. Give me one reason why you have said that. Because a lot of you who said he's scoring.
2007.
Yes.
The Abia road was nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and how is it now?
Compare 2008, 2009.
Yes.
It is still constant. If you go to 88 Danfodio Road, your car can never pass. If you go to close to Econet's house, you cannot pass there.
Chooks, when was the last time you visited home? When was the last time you visited home?
I was in Abia State.
When was the last time you visited Abia State?
3 weeks ago.
And
I'm telling you, tell T.A. Orji to tell his son Ikuku Ibeku to resist from power.
You see, it is scholars like you who are not constructive. It is scholars like him who are not constructive that really gets mind-boggling. All of these years, nobody has said anything about governors before this governor. But simply because this man is here and doing the right things, I don't know the interest Chooks, our brother, might have from Imo State and telling me some of the roads that I know that are under construction, you know. And I don't even want to get into the game of comparing governors. And Chooks is from Imo State, and we know your history and your record very well. But I want to put it to you on this program that after 25 years in living in America, I was a diasporan like you, Kayode. I lived in Atlanta for 25 years. I do come home periodically. This is the first time that Kingsley Megwara is seeing a governor come into Abia State and laying the proper foundation for the takeoff of our state.
I want to ask Nena this question. There is always this issue in Abia. First, it was the mention of the former governor, the mother to the former governor as being in control of the state. And now this governor, there is the accusation that it's his wife and the son that are in control of the state. And I did ask the governor that. Are you worried that in Abia, why is it that there's so much emphasis on those kind of suggestions than on real development? Is it true that you always have people behind the scene controlling whoever is?
Like, I personally, I'm not actually aware of that situation. But all I can say is that, obviously, I know a lot of people are going to, like, shoot me for saying this, but I think sometimes when people have already written someone off, they would always find something extra to say about that person, like, oh, is this person or is that person? And especially if you have, like, maybe a wife who wants to be visible, they'll be like, oh, you understand, this woman is stepping out of her bounds.
Just like we have Dame Jonathan, who is the president, who is the president in the real president behind the scene. But just 1 minute before Kingsley comes in, I've got Oni on the line. Good evening, Oni.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
Okay, I'm calling from North London.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, and I've been following the program, and I have a little contribution to make. Let me start by saying that T.A. Orji, like, I want to correct some misconception about him. He is an elected governor.
Okay.
And from my own perspective, T.A. Orji has been doing a tremendous job in Abia State. And it is evident in the roads he has been building and school he has been, refurbishing, and also being the first governor to build a government house. So if anybody comes and says that T.A. Orji is not doing a good job, I wonder if the person really wants the progress of Abia State. Okay, let's just say the past governors. Yes, the past governors, they did their own bits. They tried. There were good roads that were, built. But at the same time, you cannot really compare the progress of what T.A. Orji has done with what other governors did.
Yeah, but only before I let you go, I still find it worrying that building of government houses are actually tagged as development in Nigeria. Should we not have moved past this stage and be talking about water for the people in the village, electricity for our people, access to good roads through.
Kayode, I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
Okay, let me come in.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me come in there. There should be a place you call a government house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in a democratic society. This is an achievement. Others didn't do it, and he did it. That is a very big pillar for Abia State. Now, talking about infrastructure, I don't know, maybe most of the viewers, I don't know the last time they traveled back home to see what is really going on. I am not, it's not that I'm supporting T.A. Orji, but I'm just being honest in what I have seen and what I have heard. So, from my own perspective, T.A. Orji is doing a marvelously good job, and I believe in the near future, either he is still in power or anybody else that is coming in power will still cherish more what he has done, the legacy he has left.
Okay, I want to bring Nnenna in. Nnenna, is it that one of the problem of the governor, I met him, is that he's not charismatic, as you'd say, as in he's not the kind of guy you want to have dinner with, go out for lunch. Is that not part of his problem? Do
you know what? Yeah, you actually spot on, because I actually said he needs to do a lot more for his PR, and a lot of people are saying I don't know whether you saw the thing I wrote when I visited Abia State, and I wrote a short little thing about the things I saw and everything. People wanted to crucify me, and no matter how much I'm trying to tell people I saw. They're like, are you sure you saw it? Are you sure it's not pictures? I'm like, no, I actually was there, and I actually saw people working on those things. Nobody would want to believe it. So I think maybe part of it has to do with
because I even have someone on Twitter today saying that, how much were you paid to do PR? This is definitely PR and not activism. And that's quite...
Do you know what? I was actually saying that earlier, because when I wrote that thing, people said to me, oh, don't worry, we know you got paid. And I'm like, why do I have to be paid to actually say what I actually saw?
So should I not blame people like yourself who are in government if if there are activities going on and people don't know about it?
Let me just tell you the kind of governor we have.
Yeah.
Governor Orji believes that he doesn't need to do a 1 kilometer road and use the same amount of money to do PR. The governor says, I am responsible to the people of Abia State.
Yeah.
And if you go home today, contrary to some of the callers, and these are some of the callers in the diaspora, Governor Orji's approval rating at home, for those of us at home, is the highest any governor has ever enjoyed.
Okay, I'll have someone, just sorry to cut you, I've got someone from Scotland. Good evening, I've got Obi. Obi,
yes,
good evening.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Yeah, where are you calling from, Obi? You're calling from Scotland,
I'm
obviously.
Sterling.
Okay.
And from first of all, I want Mr. Maguire to slow down in his propaganda.
Okay.
It is important, like you properly said, that we ought to have passed the stage of always hammering on secretaries as a major achievement.
Obi?
Yes,
Obi?
Yes.
There is a distinction between saying the truth and doing propaganda. King
No,
Memora is not in the business. Listen, Obi, listen to me.
It's
you
my
are a
turn
fellow
to talk.
Umuahian.
I made my point. What are you
I
challenging?
would take it as an insult to say that I'm doing propaganda. If I come on this program to say Governor Orji has built a secretariat, there is a secretariat to be seen. Governor Orji has built a government house. Governor Orji has constructed 250 health centers to improve the health of our people. I could go down and on and on.
Okay, let's have Obi.
Scholars like you who will not come home.
Okay, Obi, can you quickly make your point so that we can go into the second?
Now will not give me ears.
Okay, go ahead. You have the floor now.
Yes. Take for instance, in my community, we don't have water.
Which one? Which is your community?
We are within
your community,
15 miles radius of the capital.
Which is your community?
We ought to have water.
What is the name of your community?
Hold on, please. Obi, what's the name of your community?
The community is Umuyota.
Umuyota, okay.
Yes. And they have started the market.
Let's quickly have him then.
Right now is incited to my neighborhood.
Okay.
Within my community.
Yeah.
There is no water, there's no electricity.
Okay.
How is that market supposed to function in the first instance?
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Quickly respond to
this is the kind of distortion that will come on the pro. Obi, I'm extremely very ashamed of you to say.
Do they have water in his community?
I will tell you. I'm extremely ashamed to say that we don't have. I am the next village to our next.
What's your village?
Umwekule is the neighboring village to Umuyota, and there is an improved power supply as a result of what Governor Orji had done since he came in. We have air conditioners in the house that was installed several years ago that we never use unless you put on the generator. Power supply in that area he's talking about now has improved 80% since we evacuated power from on here. And I'm extremely very ashamed of him to raise such...
Where do you have light? Where do you have light?
But
where do you have light? Do you have light from
Umuire to Umuyota to Abia to Afugiri? There is functional electricity at home.
Okay.
It is scholars like you. It is scholars like you that are not doing well for our state, and that's extremely bad on your part.
Okay. Obi, I want you to stay, Obi, I want you to also call us back because I also want everyone to see the second part of the interview. And please try and stay on the program. It's a voice for everyone. We allow all segments, all opinions from everybody in the society. We have the second clip that is ready. The Executive Governor of Abia State.
Is to call back these our brothers and sisters from their states. We didn't sack them. We didn't sack them.
They just were redeployed.
Yes. Take them back in your service. So we said, okay, we agreed. And now sent out letters and this, and they are all coming back. But my puzzle is this, because that time they were accusing me of many, many things. Why didn't their governments take them that time? Some of them are still not doing anything. When it happened to us, we redeployed our people, send them back to the service.
By 2015, you would have completed 8 years.
Right.
Are you grooming a successor?
How can I groom a successor? I'm not grooming any person. Did any person groom me? Any person, if Abia people, they are the people who decide. It's not me that will decide who will govern Abia. It is the people. Power belongs to the people. They know every person. So when the aspirants come, they will vote for somebody of their choice.
One thing that strikes me about you is that you don't have a political background. I was made to understand you were not a businessman.
At all.
You were in the civil service.
Right.
How did that happen? Someone straight from the civil service into government?
That I wasn't in active politics doesn't mean that I didn't come into contact with politicians.
Yeah.
That I wasn't in the system where politics was decided. My civil service career, after my university, after my NYSC, I went straight to the civil service. And in the course of my job as a civil servant, I came into contact with a lot of people, politicians and civil servants. I was also instrumental to offices. I worked in offices that decided politics and politicians. So that exposed me very well. And then when democracy came back in 1999, yeah. When I came back to Government House here, from there I became Principal Secretary, Chief of Staff. That now opened my eyes. I came into contact with a lot of people whom I helped, who appreciated me, who came with their problems to me, and I touched their lives.
What?
And they started pushing, saying, this is the man, the right man that should be there. So that's how I started.
What is your relationship with the current president, President Goodluck Jonathan?
Good relationship. Our relationship is very cordial. He is the president, I'm a governor. So we relate very well. So
you're not a sympathizer of the new PDP, now part of the APC?
There's nothing like new PDP. If you're not in PDP, maybe you are in APC. We have one PDP. I am a staunch member of my party. I'm a party loyalist. So in party politics.
So will you support the re-election of the president in 2015?
Why shouldn't I? Is the president not entitled?
He gave his word that he would just run for one term.
Where did he give? Were you there when he gave the word?
If you read President Obasanjo's letters,
Were you there when he gave the word? Were you there? Were you there?
You were a very important member of the party, and you should have inside knowledge. Did he or did he not give his word?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't talk what I don't know. I don't tell you what I don't know. What I tell you is what I know very well. So I don't know about that.
Okay,
but all I know is that if the president wants to run, he's entitled to run. If he declares his interest, for sure, Abia State will support him. We have supported him before. We support him.
In the Igbo, they are victims of violence, especially in the northern part of the country and other parts. And one would expect more agitation from the southeastern governors on the fate of Ndi Igbos that are being killed in other parts of the country. I mean, compel the president to do more in terms of protecting Igbos in other parts of the country.
But the president is trying. He's president of Nigeria. Yeah. He's not president of Ndi Igbo. And
he has been in America for 25 years. And he's part of the government in Abia State. Okay. I am from Umuahia. I am from Mamu, a village next to his. And I am married in Osa. So I am part and parcel of Umuahia and Abia State.
What is your point? What is your point?
Go ahead.
I don't know why you find it so easy to challenge people when they want to say something, negative about the government. You don't even allow people to even say something.
No, Ngozi, because it's very
just to relax, okay? The thing is, because you've been in America for 25 years.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, I'm with you, Ngozi. Go ahead, Ngozi.
Good. I expect somebody of his caliber who has been overseas for 25 years to have a big impact in Umuahia. The thing is, nothing, absolutely nothing is happening in Umuahia. All our governor is interested is moving the market away from the town, moving away the mechanics from the town, moving away the timber shade, and creating problems in the villages. My mother is sick and worried of how she's going to move from Abama, where she's staying with my sister, to go to market in Obani.
Okay.
Every day I call her on phone, she keeps complaining about that. Okay. I have never seen a town center where you don't have a market in it. Okay, and why that market is being moved away is what I don't understand.
Okay, let's give Kingsley a chance. Kingsley, why is that happening?
The market, if you've been to Umuahia, have been there all these years, improperly located. What this governor simply did, he said, this is an eyesore in the central business district of Abia State. This market is close to the government house. He moved the market to a more conducive environment. And those people who are using the market today are extremely very happy for moving that market, because now they have bigger shops, they have a market with a clinic, with a fire service in a more comfortable setting. He will have to be one of the few people who will complain that the governor of Abia State has moved the market. You see, it's all about development. If you go to Obani Beku, the area that this market is moved to now, there are estates now springing up and developments is coming to that area. The same will soon happen for the airport, Ngozi. The airport that the governor of Abia State is about to build is going to be located in an area where some people might not like it. But this is strategic thinking on behalf of this government. Yes, Ngozi, I've lived in America for 25 years, and I've been coming home before then. What I see in this governor is a governor who is focused. What I see in this governor is a governor who is laying foundation. And what are these foundations? I just told you, 250 clinics scattered within the 29 political wards of Abia State. That is a quantum leap from what we once had.
Can I just ask him a question? Sure. You know, like everybody, especially some of the people who are told I was going to be coming on this show, they were asking, how are people going to be able to make it to the market from where they are?
We have shuttles. We have shuttles taking people from the old market to the new market. And those people at home are very happy about this arrangement.
But from the feelers I'm getting, is it not part of the problem that there were not enough consultations with the people? Because if people are complaining about the movement, is it as a result of the fact that the people are the last to be consulted before a decision is made?
This governor consulted with marketers and traders for the last 4 years and said, this market that is located here, this is the wrong place for this market. We are going to move this market to this location, Obani Beku. And that consultation took, you know, when Nena came the last time, and I was taking Nena around to most of the governor's projects, I told Nena, I said, this market here, and you see all of the traffic and all of the congestion in the area, that the governor is moving this market, and this governor says what he's going to do, and he goes ahead, and he will do that.
We spent too much time on Umuahia. I am worried about Abba Market. Abba Market should be like the Mecca for businessmen. Why is Abba Market the way it is today? I mean, it's not something that, it's not like there's been a revolutionary change from what it used to be. Why is Abba the way it is? And I'm not saying, an Abba Market, as far as I'm concerned, should be a shame to the whole of the people from the southeast, just like Onitsha is. Those are the two strategic centers for the southeast. Why is it being abandoned?
Well, I can tell you that future governors before now really neglected that whole area. Governor T.A. Orji, Governor T.A. Orji came into the Ariaria market, and I don't know if you've been there lately, and I would like those of our brothers and sisters who just came back from home to give you a little brief history of what has, the transformation that you now see in Abba. Ariaria has been completely cleaned. All of the roads network leading to the market has been, you know, reconstructed. Additionally, another mall, another international mall is going up again in Abba, and it's part of our PPP arrangement. So, Kayode, it's sad sometimes to hear average Nigerian, and the young lady that just called said that she's from Amogugu. That's a road from Amogugu that is impassable for several years now, and this governor came in and asphalted that road leading to Amogugu.
I've got Charles on the line, then I want Nena to come in here. Charles, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we're almost rounding up. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I basically want to. My name is Charles Hassan. I'm calling from London.
All right.
From Southwest London. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm really, really happy for a program like this. Yeah. I'm from the West. I literally know nothing about Southeast Nigeria. But I've been following Nigerian politics since I was 10.
Okay.
So there is no country without its ups and downs.
Okay.
That's what fellow Nigerians in diaspora to know. Look at what is happening in Lagos. You know, like Governor Fashola moved so many people from Oshodi Market, and we are now enjoying.
Yeah, it moved people from Oshodi Market. Yeah.
Exactly. I was home last year December, and I was so depressed. Hello.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So we should look at this from the base from the statistics. How much does Theodore Orji get from federal government?
Thank you very much, my brother.
Okay. Okay, because we've got very few minutes to go.
That's one of the things I've tried to explain to so many people, because what I had to do was, obviously, coming from the impression whereby I've always had this thing where the state's been run down, and then visiting and then looking at the things subjectively. This is my own personal opinion, and nobody should shoot me for this. But basically, what I saw were things, for example, the things that were being moved away is things that would help the actual state to develop further. Because having that concentration, because there's so many people in Abia, there's so many people in Umuahia, and Abia State is not just Abia and Umuahia. There's so many other towns. So moving some of these things away, I think would actually help encourage development in other parts of the state.
Okay,
So I don't know whether
Kingsley, because we've got just very few seconds to go. I want to. How are you going to engage people who are not convinced about what's going on in Abia State? I mean, there should be a platform, a forum where the government will bring its policies to its people.
Well, I do know that for most of our callers, I know that the governor is planning a town hall meeting here in London sometime this summer. But there was an interesting question that the last caller asked. He said, how much money comes into Abia State? Kayode, we receive 3.5 billion naira, which is the equivalent of 13.5 million pounds every month from the Federation account. Our internally generated revenue from Abia State is a little over 600 million naira monthly. Wage bill alone, paying workers, paying primary school teachers and so on, takes about 2.5 billion naira of that money. So there's really not much this governor can do than what he's doing now. So,
all right, we want to. Sorry to cut you short, because I wish we had more time.
We need to do a part two.
I just want to thank you for coming into the studio. Nena, it's good to have you here. And I just want to tell you, this is one program where people always have their voice. They must have their say. We want to thank our viewers. This is just one in many series of interviews from Nigeria. We're going to have the interview with Osun State Governor, Ekiti State Governor. So we are saying, stay with Ben Television in the UK. It's your program, Politics with KO. We want to say happy birthday to Ayo Ajayi, one of our production assistants. We really want to thank her for the wonderful work she's doing. And Nigeria, may peace come to our country. Good night, and God bless you. Ngozi and Tony, you're doing a wonderful job. Victor, we won't forget you. Take care and see you next Thursday, same time.
In the Gap Channel.
This is a child sponsorship emergency. We've all seen